Extra. Yeah, party people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hip hoppers of all ages, live and direct with Mad TV, the podcast with special guest Big Ced, legendary hip hopper, party promoter, journalist, marketer, PR guy, legendary fuckboy. But definitely, one of our favorite hip hoppers who represent the culture. You know what I mean? And this is what this is about. Like, Mad IZM TV is a gateway to all the isms: racism, sexism, fascism, totalitarianism, lyricism, journalism. And Big Ced has used his talents as a hip hop personality to really carve out a solid lane to cover not just hip hop but issues pertaining Black folks in a hip hop journalistic way, though. So we're gonna get into a dope conversation with Mr. Big Ced, Cedric Thornton. But before we get in deep, we like to start it off with a little channel live, a little Hakeem Green. Gives us time to invite people in the building and get it cracking. I didn't even know my microphone was way over here. I hope y'all can hear me much better now. Man, I'm wild.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, what we're gonna do right fast, Ced, is I'm gonna throw a little video up, and that'll give us time to invite people to the channel, to the buildings, make sure we got an audience watching, and I'll tag you in the Facebook post so you can share that as well as the YouTube clip. You see what I'm doing? I'm burning that Mad IZM, trying to set the tone. So
you forgot to mention Cedism.
That's right, Mad IZM world, no doubt. Let me see. How we gonna do this? Let's do I Believe. I'm gonna play I Believe by myself and Mr. Carl Thomas. And jump it off like that. I'm getting it together, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me, I'm a little slow on the tech side, but I'm getting better. Relax, social distancing and other nation measures put in place. President's been issued to begin phasing the nationwide guidelines to stop the outbreak and contain the economic fallout. Although weekly jobs numbers are out and they are a staggering show of the early impact of the new coronavirus on the economy, around 3.3 million people filed for unemployment in the past week, far exceeding the previous record from 1982. Madism in effect, change the game. Everybody smoke good, my blow and change the strain. I used to smoke for the thrill, now I do it for the pain. I stay push straight, I do it for the gains. It's like a revolution, Prince with purple rain. Push purple haze, like cheese in the maze. With lights in the tunnel, LEDs apply the rays. All we do is spark medicine, and that shit is all the craze. Remember back in the days, trade bags and haze from the corner bodega, popping, put it in some lace. It was rhymes in the cycle with blunts in the air. Then off with a shorty house locked in a share. My shorty looked exotic weed, kind of rare. She said the weed was erotic, smoking in the air. Isn't make the time for my life without a care. So pull it up, light it up, put it in the air.
I believe in happy faces, yes, it's true. Love is just for special people, yes, just like you. If you're reaching for the stars, you know you that I'll choose this life for the race. When I believe I'm treated tonight. She goes for I get ready and red man for the time that Johnny plays. She can know I get down for sugar rays. I keep the aromatic, it's a passion, not a habit. I keep going green, it's like carrots going rabbits. It's so automatic how the weed gets lit. Duplicate the seed, close the clip. Pop what you puffin' on, I know that ain't the fifth, but it can't get swallowed up. On the list, I got flavors, pop flavors, they call me Flavor Flav. Gorilla Glue #4, it's super so haze. Getting in the car, South Diesel gets me off. I'm looking for a little property, something like a wall. I'm roll these streets, just in time for Christmas. Hectic with the giftless. I know you wanna hit this. Look for madism, it's time to light a flare. Then roll it up, light it up, put it in the air. I believe in happy faces, yes, this is true. Love is just for special people, yes, just like you. If you're reaching for the signs, you know you can do. Anything you want to, if you just get into. I believe that I will lose my way for the right to be. I believe that I'll choose this life for the right to life. I believe I'm treated like it's all that's family. Like it's all that's
What really stands out to many are the one-time direct payments from the government. The Trump administration says they hope to start rolling them out in 3 weeks. The payments are based on your latest tax filing. Individuals who earn $75,000 or less will get $1,200.
Yes, sir. That is, I believe, Put It in the Air by myself, Hakeem Green, produced by DJ Heron. Big shout out to him, featuring Carl Thomas. Video by myself and Shock B. Big shout out to Benny Boom on the help out on the consultation. That was dope. We sitting here with no other than Big Cedric Thornton, from the BX, from New Jersey, representing Bergens County's Hudson County, right? You in Jersey? Never mind. Oh, my bad. So anyway, me and Stan, we go back way back in the time. But I have to say, in terms of my particular history in hip hop, when I say hip hop, I mean the culture, not the music business. My particular history in hip hop, is not too many other people that stand out. Sometimes like a sore thumb, but stands out like my man Big said. He's like, he's been around since day one. So applause to Big Said. Thank you for coming on the Madism TV show, bro.
I don't smoke though.
It's all good. Because when we talk about ism, we talk about all the isms. Racism, sexism, fascism, socialism, capitalism, journalism. You know what I mean? So we can flip it and bounce it. You know what I mean? So look, like, this is hip hop though. This is about hip hop first and foremost. Of course it's the weed, but it's about hip hop. So I want to start from day one with you. Like, where are you from originally?
Jersey City. No, I'm just messing with you. The home of the best sports franchise in the world. Well, not recently, but the Bronx, the Southeast Bronx.
Southeast Bronx. Now, like some say Southeast. Was you from the projects? Are you from the hood? Like what part of the Bronx? Southeast Bronx. What we talking about now?
Well, I'm near Soundview. Actually, I'm like about 9,000 steps from Bronx River. Mm-hmm. The Soundview area. We have a lot of dignitaries from over here, mm-hmm. and Parkchester, Castle Hill, mm-hmm. like in that area.
Okay.
Law Finesse, Parkchester, mm-hmm. Jennifer Lopez, Castle Hill. I could just start naming names.
Right.
I don't want to start doing this.
Peter Guns and Lord Tariq, that's Soundview, right?
Yeah.
No, it's okay to know. It's okay to name drop. So I'm trying to really establish your credibility in the hip hop, because it's just off the surface, you might look like you kind of like out of place. You kind of look kind of So I'm trying to, let my audience, my viewership know that, we got the real deal. Like you saw hip hop jump off from like day one. So at what point were you exposed to hip hop? Like how old were you? What, explain that whole thing.
I'm gonna say when hip hop first started, because like when we were younger, we like my mother wouldn't allow us to like leave the block and that type of thing. But like Bambaataa, Africa Bambaataa and them used to come over on like around our block to do things that I'm not gonna mention. But it's just a matter of before they put out their record, it was Zulu Nation, and I had some friends that was Zulu Nation as well. But the mixtape, I mean, like the cassette tapes and things of that nature, like I said, I was too young to physically be in the parks with everyone else, but we would always hear about it. So my interest was right away because being in the Bronx, you had no other, it was the Yankees and hip hop. That's all there was. So it was a matter of just going.
Now you talking about the late? Are you talking about the late 70s about this time, or the early 80s? Early 80s.
Late 70s, like I say, like mid 70s, on up, because I think I was like 8. I was 8 years old in 1976, and like I said, I just remember like the whole disco era, But like I said, we weren't allowed in the streets. Like I said, we were the type of children that my mother was like, we had to be up like when the street lights come on, whatever. So, but our friends used to always occupy and tell us about these things. And at that time, New York City was horrible, like 4,000 murders a year. So it was so it was like we shouldn't be outside at any time of night because people was getting in the day, like during the day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon was just as bad as 2 o'clock in the morning at that time. So it was kind of rough. But the one thing I liked about that era, it was that it was gritty. New York City was gritty, and I don't think New York City has that grittiness anymore.
Yeah. But but let's stay right here though. Let's stay right here because as we go up this timeline with your own personal history, right? I think it's important for people to understand culture, like what fed the culture, what was going. Like you talk about the early 70s in the Bronx. You talking about a burnt out place, a war zone. You talking about the president, future president Ronald Reagan at the time in the 70s came in and basically said, this will never be anything really. Like we gotta, this is it. This is like ground zero for destruction in America was the Bronx, right? So like the gangs, what's going on with that? Like,
yeah, gangs was heavy. I mean, this was like post Warriors, the movie Warriors, where like it was that serious.
This is pre-Warriors, because it's the 70s. Warriors came out 79, 80.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Pre-Warriors. Funny thing is that the gangs back then weren't like the Bloods and the Crips. It was territorial gangs. Like I said, if anybody that knows has seen the movie Warriors, they'll see it was always by region. It's always by this crew. But like, and it was a lot in the Bronx, and I don't think the Bloods and Crips wasn't in New York at the time because, from my understanding, they came later, much later, in the city through the jail system and things of that nature. But there was a ball busters. I mean, there was just so many different gangs around that time where you had people that were members of 3 different gangs because it was so many gangs at the time, and it was like a destructive mindset, but at the same time, it was more like a survivalist type of mindset because, like, I used to go to a junior high school that I had to take a bus to, so it was like getting off the block was definitely a journey because it was like it wasn't a war zone per se, but it was a war zone because even back then people used to get vicked for sneakers, sheepskins, Lee patches. I mean, so many different things that today, like, I mean, it was just amazing how with the crime and even the mindset of people, because you don't have to be involved with crime in order to do criminal things. Just because of the mindset. And I do understand that some people got involved with certain gangs because they had no other choice. Luckily for us, we lived right near Soundview Projects. We lived near projects, but we were a middle class neighborhood.
Okay.
Growing up, I thought we were living in the projects until I started visiting the projects and realizing what the difference is in mindset, attitude, and even the upkeep of the property and things of that nature. So it was a whole new world. Because Good Times was a TV show that, to me, was really believable because our buildings weren't like that. But then when I got older, going into the projects, I'm like, oh, okay, so I get. So, but it was just a different mindset, and even people in the middle class neighborhoods, they felt they had to be a certain way, so that way they wouldn't get jumped. And back then, even though people had weapons, weapons of choice was either hands or maybe bottles of sticks, but not guns or knives or anything to that point. That came
but still brutal. You talk about 4,000 murders a year. You talking about in the 70s. You talking about heroin is crazy. You talking about the burnt out buildings for blocks and blocks and blocks, but people living in them.
Yeah,
like
I meant specifically the kids, the neighborhood. That's what I meant when I said. Okay. That's what I meant when I as far as that. But citywide, everything, any and everything. People were throwing buildings at people in the fields at that time.
Because it's certain things that go on, right? And we have a certain perspective of certain people, certain groups, organizations, whatever. And we don't understand, like when you say mental health, like mental health right now was a thing. In the 1970s, no niggas wasn't checking for mental health like that. It just wasn't. It wasn't a thing. So people were going through crisis, and it was termed criminal behavior or criminal activity. And instead of going to the hospital, jokers was going to jail. But even if you went to the hospital, services were so low that was a hellhole in and of itself. Talking about the mental institutions, what have you. So just in terms of hip hop coming out of this environment of struggle, right? That the music then became a reprieve. The music became the escape. You know what I mean? And if you want to add on to that,
and the storytelling aspect of what was going on, because for some people that's therapy.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not doing this, but this is what's going on.
Yeah, and when you hear the message, like the message,
exactly,
was like the culmination in art form of all that stuff that happened in the 70s, and so especially when we got a chance to see the video, and we had never seen a video like that before. You know what I mean? But that the art, the music,
I mean, even Run DMC, Hard Time. I mean, every group or every artist had some type of struggle that they can speak about, even if they didn't witness it. I mean, if they didn't go through it, they witnessed it. And hip hop definitely came from a space where if you didn't struggle, you couldn't be hip hop. That was the thinking. But at the time, that's all it was because that's all we knew. That's all they knew. That's all hip hop in its infancy. And when I say infancy, I'm talking about pre-commercial, pre-records, I mean, even when you listen to the cassette tapes back then, with some of them about some of the things going on, trying to get a party atmosphere, but then having stories where somebody's trying to go to a party, but on the way to the party, they can get robbed, they can get jumped, so so many different things. Drugs was heavy.
So I'm gonna give some shout out right fast. Soul Clap Mix, Fire Blaze, thanks for checking in. Earl Green, thanks for checking in. Jovan Jenkins, what's up? Thanks for checking in. And just to let you know, said like when you touching on some hot points, I'm gonna isolate your screen so it's just you on here. So don't freak out when you see yourself on the screen, right? All right, cool. Yeah. So all right, so did you want to add on to that, or did you?
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll come up again with about saying.
So at what point did you start going, like you start going out, hitting the parties in the parks, going to the clubs? Like what was that like? Because like, like Beach Street era, because you like maybe 10, 15 years older than me. So you kind of so so like when Beach Street came out, what was you going to parties? Was you going to the club yet?
I'm not that old. When Beach Street came out, I was like maybe 13 or 14, but the interest was definitely there. Like I said, I couldn't necessarily leave the block because my parents were strict on things of that nature, and like I said, it was a dangerous world. But having friends that were going to things of that nature where even they were too young to be going to some of these places.
Mhm.
But like going to school, I ended up, going to high school in Harlem. I went to music and art. Coincidentally, I
Okay.
went to school with the likes of MC Search, Dana Dane,
Mm.
Slick Rick, you know,
Mm.
um,
There you go.
Steve. I mean, so
Hmm.
many different people were at the beginning of the commercialism of hip hop,
Hmm.
where I wasn't necessarily going to those clubs at the time because, like I said, I was too young. But I was in the midst of being involved with people who
Mm.
started trends when it came to hip hop, like Dana
Right.
Dane specifically with Brooklyn and the fashion aspect of it. Slick Rick with the storytelling aspect. MC Search, just the fact of him being white at a time where it was nothing but minorities involved. It's like there's so many different things and people at the
Hmm.
time. And I was lucky that the high school I went to, High School of Music and Art,
Mm.
I was in the midst of all of these people, and there were other people. There was a song called Fly Guy, Fly Girl. I mean, Boogie Nights. Wait, that's it. I forgot the name of it. But Rudy, he lived in my
The,
building.
the
Jay,
Boogie Boys.
Hot Dog,
The
yeah,
Boogie
Boogie
Boys.
Boys, and Hot
So I
Dog.
was trying. I was
Um,
trying to give you your solo shine, but you fucked up already. They had to come in and save you. What's going on here?
But as I was saying, like my beginning stages, I was there with a lot of people who basically set the tone for a lot of what people are seeing today at a time when they had nobody to look up to. It was nothing but like I said, it was a disco era in R&B, but hip hop wasn't like art the artists in R&B or people listening to R&B wasn't taking hip hop seriously. So any and everything that was done during that time, first of all, were first, of course, because it wasn't done before, and people just had the mindset of let's just do it because we want to do it. Like I said, even with Wild Style, B Street, and all these different movies, you know, even breakdancing and graffiti and things of that nature, like living in the Bronx and being involved with people that were involved in those things, I had a definite interest because I was right there, but I never wanted to rap. I never wanted to dance. And the funny thing is, like, for me to be so involved in hip hop, like at the time, I didn't know how to fit in, but I knew that this was something that I definitely wanted to be involved with. As a matter of fact, I used to sing, so my thing was singing. So I'm trying to get into the industry, through my vocal talents, or what I thought was my vocal talents. And like I said, but the hip hop thing was so strong, and then you know, being friends with Tuffy from Video Music Box, we hung out since third grade, and his sister working with Ralph McDaniels, like that was like the easiest in I could have gotten when it came to hip hop, as far as the not the music or the culture, but the actual business of hip hop, because Ralph was doing videos for it seemed like every major hip hop act at the time, and I started out as a production assistant with Classic Concept, which was Ralph McDaniels in the Big Kids Company. And the funny thing is being involved when the MC Light video came up. I don't know if I'm jumping ahead of myself, but since you're not here asking questions, I just have to
No, no,
go.
I was definitely going there, but if you got your own timeline, I'll hop in and when need be. Do you think it's all good?
I'm going to go whatever timeline you were trying to do. So,
Yo,
but
all right, so all right, but pause it right there. Pause it right there. Pause it right there. All right, because we gonna walk the culture, right? You said you went to high school. You went to high school with Dougie Fresh. You went to high
no,
school with MC, not Dougie Fresh, but MC Search. Who else?
Slick Rick, Dana Dane, MC Surge.
All right, Slick Rick, Dana Dane, MC Search. Like you got hip hop, like you said, is just real new. It's real young. It's not really on the radio. MTV's not giving it any shine. Like during this time, I was going to camp every summer from 1979, 1987. Yes, I was in camp, summer camp, and loved every minute of it. It was great, right?
College in '87.
Huh? I mean, I graduated high
I was
school
in
in
college.
'87. I graduated high school in '87. I was a camp counselor. I went every year, camp counselor the whole night. I taught horseback riding, bro. I was the horseback riding instructor. Your man Hakeem was the horseback riding instructor at Fairview Lake Camps, Newton, New Jersey. Well, Stillwater actually, but Yeah.
It wasn't.
So, but going to camp every year, right? I try to play hip hop like from 1979 to like 1983, 84, 84, 85, right? 85. They wasn't trying to hear it. You might get away with Rappers Delight, but beyond that, it was Jethro Tull, Ozzy Osbourne, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Black Sabbath, just that whole Wings, yeah, John Cougar Mellencamp. That's all it was. And you couldn't play. There was no. I tried to play Boogie Boy. They weren't trying to feel that. You try to play Spoonie G, getting no run at summer camp. Not happening, right? You might get away with Rappers Delight. And then Run DMC happened. And all that changed. Right. So when we get to these different debates about, Jones that's happening now versus what we came up on, right? People fail to realize that what we came up on, there was nothing that predated that. Like, we had to open up doors that was slammed shut. You know what I mean? So, it was about the culture. It wasn't about the music business. In terms of you going to school with the Dana Danes, the, Slick Ricks, the Searches, the community. Even you talking about, Tuffy and the Video Music Box and Tuffy's sister work. When you understand what Ralph McDaniels was to us early on when MTV wasn't fuck. So yeah, I need you to hop in and break all that down.
Well, yeah, like I said, at that time, it's like, hip hop was literally just beginning, specifically in New York, because of course, the scene was already set in the Bronx, and I guess anywhere else that within that parameter. And Video Music Box was like our American Bandstand. I mean, whatever it was like 3 o'clock every day. We rush home to make sure we're in front of the TV, and just to be connected to Video Music Box through Tuffy and his sister, to me that was a big thing. And it's like, wow, it's like, this is like incredible. So that made me want to be involved with hip hop even more, because I know that there's going to be, because I knew that hip hop wasn't going to die, even though people kept saying it was a fad, it was a trend, but I knew that was something that it was going to grow, and I wanted to be a part of that. And coincidentally, like I said, hanging out with Tuffy and his sister working with Ralph was the best thing that could have happened to me in terms of getting involved in hip hop, because I had an in. It was like his sister was like, Tuffy's sister was like, do you want to, work at the videos? And it's like, work at the videos and see rappers? Yeah, I want to do that. But coincidentally, I think I worked on one, I forgot what video it was. Then I remember the Dougie Fresh Keep Rising to the Top video was filmed. Now, I had already known Doug because years earlier, my girlfriend at the time, sister was Doug's. Doug was dating her sister. So that's how me and Doug met. So me and Doug used to be at the house all the time, just hanging out. So when, back then, of course, videos was a big thing. So that was the first video that I was actually like, I was in the crowd and, the cameras are going around. And this is the first time I realized that for a 5-minute song, it takes 20 hours to film a 5-minute video. So it was like we there for the whole day.
Back in those days.
So I know. Huh?
Back in those days. Now it doesn't take
back
that
then, yeah. Nowadays, you just get a camera, bam, okay, we're done.
Yeah,
okay.
on your phone. Got your iPhone, bop, 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 bop. You edit right there. iMovie, boom, boom, boom. It's just crazy.
But the funny story for me, like getting involved, was like, I went home and told my friends I'm going to be in a video because the camera passed by me so many different times. How could I not be in a video? So when the video came out, no Cedric.
No.
So they look at me like, who's going to be in that video?
Not even a yo what netta.
Yo what netta? Saw like
yo what?
Yeah. Well, I knew, but no one else did. So I'm just going to jump a little, because with the MC Light video, the funny thing is, actually no, I'll go to that a little later. But like I said, during that time, when Ralph happened to do so many different rappers' videos at the time, and even if I wasn't working in the video, I was able to go to the video because Tuffy was going, and Tuffy was part of Video Music Box by this time as a host.
How old were you at this time?
We were in college, so 18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah,
87,
yeah,
88,
19.
87, 88.
87, 88, yeah, because the MC Light video was 87. Or was it 88?
I think it was 88.
We was out of high school already.
Okay.
So we were definitely out of high school already. And we were actually going to Bronx Community College in Tuffy. And like I said,
so you at this time you stay out past the street lights being on.
Yeah, definitely. Way past that. But it was I kind of lose thoughts sometimes. So you have to I'm old.
So right now I think you try to set up the MC Light video. You're talking about being able to go to the videos, Video Music Box, you and Tuffy's relationship. That was the end. You're in college.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, then you go home, bro. You know
No. You know what it is? It's that there's so much going on because there's so much in between that. Because whenever I have this conversation, I always leave something out, but then remember later. So it's like I try to catch up to myself, but I can't because it's too much.
I would not take your time, roll the blunt. I'm saying, stop fucking around, roll the blunt.
But okay, this is what happened. So the reason why I made this to the Keep Rising in the Top video is because by the time the MC Light video came around, me and Tuffy, we were also friends with Carl Payne, who played Cockroach on the Cosby Show at the time.
Yeah.
So we were actually all friends during high school. So the funny thing is that
that's dope.
At the time of the video, Cheryl's sister, Tuffy's sister Cheryl had asked me if I wanted to be in MC Light's video. And this was when MC Light had Cram to Understand You. So, they haven't come out yet. But I was like, sure. So I was going to be the friend of Carl. Carl was supposed to play Sam.
Wow.
Carl
he fronted because he knew the setup. He threw you under the bus.
No, but this is the funny thing.
The train, actually.
He signed on to do it. He called me this morning because I think it was like a 6 o'clock call time, 6 a.m. whatever. He called me and said, "Yo, I'm not going." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Now this is the funny thing. Remember, he's Cockroach at the Cosby Show, so he says, I don't want to be typecast, so I can't do the video." His next role was Cole and Martin. But that's another story. So, but the funny thing is that it opened. Yeah, when they got when on set, they were like, "Well, Carl's not going to be there." So Lionel asked me, he's like, "Would you feel comfortable being, MC Light's boyfriend in the video?" And I'm like, "Oh wow,
oh wow." Oh, we got a role for you, gentlemen.
You said let's do it. So the funny thing is, because even the getting thrown out the train and some things, it wasn't originally that, because it was like during the video, it's like, let's try this and let's do this. And I'm like, yo, come on. I'm like, here being a diva already, but it wasn't that. I'm like, yo, y'all can't be playing me in this video. But the good thing, of course, was that I was the star of the video, so it kind of made sense. And the funny thing is, the reason why I mentioned that was because after we filmed that video, I told no one. My family, Tuffy knew. I didn't tell anybody because I'm like, the last time I told people I was gonna be in the video, I was not seen. So I said, this is better look. I knew I was in the video, but I'm like, no, I'm not playing myself. I'd rather people just find out because I've already played myself and I'm not doing it 2 times. So when all of a sudden, I'm like Tuffy was a celebrity around our block because of Video Music Box. So all of a sudden, video comes out. Then all of a sudden, at the time, I was working at Bloomingdale's. Like I said, we was in college, so I was working at Bloomingdale's at the time.
I used to have. hold on 1 second. Hold 1 second. Hold on. Big shout out to Charles Farrar and rest in peace, Nicole Folks. All right, Bloomingdale's.
But yes, I worked at Bloomingdale's at the time, and the funny thing is, I used to have like girls used to come up to Bloomingdale's to get my autograph. People like, yo, it's a video. It wasn't a movie. It wasn't a commercial.
No, it don't matter, bro. You was huge, bro. You was huge.
Videos was movies back then. Nobody was in videos, especially at the time I was doing this. So I was like, okay, I get it. I saw the bigger picture, but I got it because I was getting going to parties. All of a sudden, I was like a mini celebrity, and I was like, oh wow, this is really crazy to get all this attention, and I'm just in the video, and it's not even, I'm not even the artist, And then of course, going to the line with the other videos, it became like all of a sudden, I became who I was.
A hood celebrity. A hood celebrity, no doubt, no doubt. Like I didn't even know you then, but like you was a figure for a lot of motherfuckers. Like, that was dope. That was dope. And then big shout out to Tuffy as well. Tuffy not from Channel Live. Tuffy, Big Tuffy from Video Music Box. He's actor extraordinaire. It's my guy right there. And just that whole Video Music Box classic concept door was a gateway for a lot of people, myself included. I've worked on a number of videos produced by Classic Concept, Ralph McDaniels, the Big Kid, Lionel Martin, and just what Video Music Box means to New York City, but hip hop culture, nation and worldwide is incredible. Yeah.
Yep.
So like Ralph McDaniels, let's really highlight Ralph because Uncle Ralph, you see him at the parties, you see but you see him in the community as well, doing a lot of community stuff. So if you could just elaborate on the importance of Ralph McDaniels, it'd be real dope.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, like he was the linchpin, before just before like rap really blew up. And I think that I know that like his just what he was doing, because he was doing community stuff back then with Video Music Box with different segments and things of that nature, and that was very important, probably more important now, but it was definitely important where he kept it where it was a community thing, even though he started even doing bigger videos with bigger artists, it was still a community thing. And I think that even with the show itself, one part the videos, of course, doing the actual videos and putting the vision of a lot of artists out there, but even Video Music Box, which is still airing today. Video Music Box is still airing, and the importance of Video Music Box and Ralph himself. And Ralph is so humble, and I tell people this all the time, and people that know me, Ralph doesn't get a tenth, a one hundredth of the credit he deserves, especially that he started many people's careers. If it wasn't for Ralph, who's to say that many of these artists, of course, the most recent ones, you can't really say that because the world is much bigger and there's more outlets. But I'm talking about back the LL Cool J's, the Run DMCs, the anybody that was involved with hip hop. Like Video Music Box was the only outlet because MTV wasn't even playing hip hop videos. So Ralph came at a time, and like I said, everything that we were doing back then were like things that people just did because, as you stated earlier, the culture, the love, because Ralph wasn't doing it because to get a position here or to do this. It's because he had a love for it. And Ralph used to be a DJ. A lot of people don't know that. But Ralph was a DJ, and he just took the skills that he learned and his passion for hip hop, and Video Music Box was, born of it. And I definitely, like I said, I definitely give him props, and I definitely appreciate what he's done for me and allowing me to be involved in his little circle when Classic Concept and Video Music Box, because at that time, anybody who wasn't trying to be a rapper wanted to be down with Video Music Box in some way. I would get people coming up to me all the time. So I could imagine the people going up to Ralph and at the time Lionel Martin, and just knowing that the importance of having somebody like Ralph around and Ralph is still around. He still does parties. He does a video mix. He still does video music box. And I know his library is probably the most extensive of anybody in this world. So props to Ralph. I always tell Ralph, definitely thanks for what he's done, to get my foot in the game, as well as just what he's done for hip hop in general. And I think that people need to. As a matter of fact, it's funny because we was on Clubhouse last week, and Fat Joe had joined Clubhouse. And when Fat Joe acknowledged me in the room, he went on like a 10, 15-minute conversation about the importance of Ralph and how we need to do something with Ralph and for Ralph, and definitely to memorialize what Ralph has done for hip hop. And I can appreciate somebody like Joe saying that, because there were a lot of artists who, will just jump over what Ralph has done for them and then thank MTVs and the BETs. And no disrespect to them, to those channels, but if there wasn't a video music box, would MTV have done Yo MTV Raps? Would BET have? Well, BET would have done hip hop because black. But Ralph set the tone, and like I said, it's like I don't know. I can talk for the next 3 hours and give him Ralph his props, but it's definitely obvious when I do speak of him, and I think, like I said, that he doesn't get the props that he deserves.
Yeah, enough said. Enough said. Big shout out to Ralph McDaniel's video music box, no doubt. So Big said, you are the industry cosign.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So, let's talk about the industry cosign. What makes you the industry cosign, what that platform is, because you built the platform around being the industry cosign. Let's talk about that and what that's meant to people like myself, to have a alternate platform, someone from the culture, to create that that place where we can go promote, talk about ourselves. That's a great look. So expand on that.
Well, in 2 months, the industry cosign will be 17 years old. Before the industry cosign was started, I was part of a site called the Crusade.net. And the Crusade.net, like I said, was a precursor to the industry cosign. And the only sites that were around at that time was like maybe Davey D, All Hip Hop, SOHH. So it wasn't really too many. But, we did many of the same things. And when I left the Crusade.net and, joined with one of the creators of the Crusade.net, it was myself, Ray Tamara, and Tim Moore. I left the industry cosign, and after I left, Tim joined me about 6-7 months later to start the industry cosign. For me, the industry cosign, well, Tim named the site the cosign, and I was like, that's too bland, and it doesn't mean anything. So I added industry, because I was like, anything we do will cosign the industry. So that's how the industry cosign came about. And the purpose of the industry cosign was always to showcase people, and to basically showcase people working within and for hip hop. Now you had the All Hip Hop, you had like all these other sites that everybody would always be drawn to, but I wanted the industry cosign to be something where not necessarily an alternative to All Hip Hop, but an alternative to All Hip Hop, because the industry cosign, even though it's heavily hip hop, is basically a black owned, black empowered, anything that has to do with black people's site. So, if black people did opera, they could be on, the industry cosign. And I made sure that we did a lot of executives, behind the scene people, the unsung heroes of people working within hip hop, R&B, music, film, entertainment, anything along those lines, because a lot of sites, a lot of publications didn't really do that. And to this day, I still do that. I make sure that I'd rather deal with executives now than artists, because artists can be a handful. And I basically have as big as an ego, or even a bigger ego than an artist when it comes to, doing my work, because I would be sick of artists having interviews showing up an hour late. I'm like, no, then we're not going to do an interview, because my time is just as valuable or more valuable than yours. But like I said, the industry cosign was put up at a time where nobody was really messing with online as much. Like that Burble didn't like that bubble didn't like really blow up yet. So it was just a matter of knowing that I hated working at magazines because when you work at a magazine, I can interview you today and the magazine comes out a month and a half from now. If I do online, I can interview you today and it can be posted today. So I enjoyed the flexibility that I had with doing whatever I want to do. At the time, we used to go to the industry parties, and Tim used to take pictures. So we would take pictures, not just the celebrities, but of the executives as well, or just people at the parties. And the difference between us and other sites that were doing it, we named people. We realize that people want to be recognized for whatever they're doing or being at a party. So if Hakeem is at a party, you'll have allnightclubs.com will take a picture. You see Hakeem, you'll know Hakeem, you know it's Hakeem. But if you don't notice Hakeem, you're not going to know. You come to the industry cosign and you see the same picture or similar picture, you're going to know it's Hakeem because we're going to label Hakeem Green Channel Live. So and so from Rolling Stone, whatever it is, we took the time to make sure that not only did we get our, our friends or other executives, but to actually meet other people. You take a picture. Oh, industry cosign. Who are you? What do you do? Blah 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 blah. And of course, that expanded our network because now the news that I would get, people would feed to me because of that chance introduction meeting and just knowing that I took the time to write down their name and write down their name and information to identify them on the site. And like I said back then, unless you're a celebrity, no one's going to know who you are. We used to go to about 5-6 parties a week at minimum, and on Mondays put the pictures up for the previous week. Monday was always our biggest day because everybody would go to the industry cosign on Monday to see the pictures of either to see if they're in pictures or whatever parties they missed. They want to see who was at the parties and who they missed at the parties, and just to see everything else that was going on that they may have missed, or to find out that the person that they're trying to meet, then they see, oh, that's Hakeem Green. Oh, so next time I see him at a party, I know it's him. So it made sense for a lot of people to definitely mess with the industry cosign because we basically open up the doors for people to basically know who everyone else is in the industry. It was a small industry, but it was still a lot of people, especially specifically in New York, and definitely within the hip hop industry, where we would have executives approach us like on the high end, hitting us up to get information about people they're trying to get in touch with that they didn't have before. So it's definitely a good look. And like I said, we did executive profiles and things of that nature and we never did rumors. Never did gossip.
And I think that's a beautiful thing. There's so much of that. We don't need any more of that. The professionalism behind the industry cosign, top notch. I want to give a big shout out to Elise Feldman, PR extraordinaire in the building. Big shout out to Joe Von Jenkins, your little cuz. Says what's up. Damn, y'all old. Well, said is, I don't get old. I get better. You know what I mean?
You might get better, but you don't look better. No.
So, another big part of your cachet is club promoter, and M15 is a very special place for me, or was a very special place for me until it came to its again, it's just another big said connecting, networking, a place for the industry, especially our generation, to come build. Talk about that whole party and yeah.
Well, the reason why, I have to give props to Mike Kaiser. In '88, Kaiser, before he became the Kaiser he is today, we knew Kaiser because Kaiser worked at Tower Records on 4th Street in the Village, and he came up to me and Tuffy one day and said, "Yo, y'all need to be doing parties." Me and Tuffy looked at each other like, whatever, not parties. So Kaiser like, "Look, I'll make the arrangements. All y'all got to do is invite people, bring video music box in, get your celebrity friends, this is that and other, and let's just do it." So it was like, you know what? He's like, we can make money. I was like, okay, we can make money, you know. And especially like I said, we wasn't really doing things to make money, but if you could do something and make money, why not? So the first party we did was at MK's. I think it was MK's. MK's. And so many people came out, and there were people that like DOS Effects. There were people that came to the party that wasn't artists yet, that for
I
whatever
was there.
reason.
I was at that party. I was at that party. I was at that party.
And the only reason why I bring that up to fast forward is we started doing parties where it was a thing, But I started doing weekly parties at Negril Village initially because of the industry cosign. When we launched the industry cosign, when we used to feature the executives, I'm like, wouldn't it be hot if we have whatever executives that we feature for the week, we do a party and do a meet and greet, and it worked. And the name of the party, I named the party the 5Ws, which is a section on my site, the 5Ws. So it worked, and then it worked so well that we like the 5Ws at the Grill Village was the best party the Grill Village has ever done, ever. I was there for on and off for I think like 13 years, which is unheard of. And like we had.
I was there. Oh, yeah, I know. I already know. I know, but tell the crowd you had. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You had
So many people, so many different. Um, I can't even name the. Okay.
Uh-oh. Freeze up. Yo, while he's frozen, big shout out to my homie Van from East Orange. Legend. Big Van, what up, yo? Love, bro. Keisha L. Tompkins, what's up? What's up? What's up? Thanks for checking in. I appreciate y'all, no doubt. Thanks for checking in with your man. Big Van. You know what I mean? I think Ced's gonna have to go out and come back in. Ced, if you can hear me, I need you to go out and come back in. All right, so right now we in with Big Cedric Thornton, the industry cosign. He's a journalist, does a lot of other things. We're gonna get into his journalist career in a hot second. He's now with Black Enterprise, which is major, but he's just taking a walk through his personal history, giving us his roots, his childhood in the Bronx, coming up with hip hop early, going to high school with Dana Dane, Slick Rick, MC Search. Coming up through the ranks of Video Music Box and that kind of opening the door to his, influence in the industry, his being able to bring people together, networking environment, helping people to build. Talked about the industry cosign, which is a platform that he's 17 years old in 2 months of him, basically giving a platform to artists that the quote unquote mainstream isn't necessarily checking for. Big Ced.
Yo, there was a power surge. The whole building went black.
Oh shit, crazy.
And the power just came back on. I was like, oh shit. So
That's
sorry
crazy.
about that.
No, it's all good.
Now because I don't have internet service on my computer. So I'm on my phone now.
It's all good. Shit works. It's fly.
Sorry. Okay. I'm just trying to get this.
So I just gave a basic recap. You know what I'm saying? And I'm right at the point where, you're starting the parties. Mike Kaiser said, you and Tuffy should start the parties. You're doing the joint at MK. That turns into 5Ws. You about to give us the rundown of the celebrities that have come through 5Ws.
Okay. Uncle Luke, which was the craziest party I ever did at Negril Village, because they actually did a performance at Negril Village. But let me just throw off a couple of names. Wendy Williams, Nas, AZ, Fat Joe, a lot of executives, because we did like we Naughty by Nature. Oh man, I mean it's Hakeem Green, Red Ralph McDaniels, of course. We like over the course
Everybody,
of 14
everybody,
years,
everybody.
if you didn't come to Negro Village, it didn't matter. People used to come
Yeah.
into the city. If they were there on a Thursday, they came through to Negro Village. And I went
Negro Village is on. That was on
3rd Street.
Third Street, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
3rd Street in the village, right around the corner from the park.
Yep. And M15 came about because M15 was a different animal because it more so celebrated hip hop and the hip hop dignitaries and things of that nature. DJ Wiz, Awesome 2, Ralph McDaniels, and somebody else, Dana Dane. They were doing it, and of course they needed some star power, so they brought me in. And when I came to M15, like I said, we were there, I think for 14 years, because we did Red Alert's birthday party. This would have been the 14th year, if I'm correct. And we did every one of Red's parties at M15. And like you said, we've had legends come through. You know, we even had Spoonie G. We've had Kwame. I mean, like I said, we can sit here for the next 2 hours and I can just name everybody and still have people that I forgot about.
Lee said you had a lot of NFL players at Negro Village.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because what's my man? Willie Sanchez from Long Island. He played on the Giants, and then I think he played with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He used to come through. I mean, we've had basketball players. We definitely had people that whenever they were in town, that would definitely stop through. So, like I said, I know you said it's good to name drop, but it's always hard to name drop when you can't remember. But the funny thing is that the minute this interview is over, I'm gonna remember everybody that ever came through.
But it's all good, and we give shouts and love to everybody who came through Negro Village.
Definitely,
came through M15. You know, everything that you've done, like, you know, it's just, you know, for the folks who don't know who you are and what you mean to the culture. Like, it's not just about the party. You know, it's about creating an environment where people can network, can build, do business. Also, be artistic, be creative. You know, when you talking about the video mix parties are like, you know, like some of the most incredible events I've ever been to. Ralph McDaniels, Teddy Ted, who else? Red Alert,
DJ Wiz,
DJ
Burn,
doing the video. So you got the video and the whatever they do here, you see up on the screen at the same time. You know, mixing so it's like mixing videos. The video mix party is phenomenal, and you know, Ralph McDaniels was the first person I've ever seen do it, and the only person I see do it effectively. To be honest with you, and, you know, so you know, that's what Big said. You know, is creating to add to the culture. You know what I mean?
But I also think that people that like the and I say so-called celebrity because I guess when you're friends, you don't consider them celebrities. But the celebrities that always come through, and remember, I used to do celebrity basketball games as well. So I think that the fact that people feel comfortable. People go to events, people go to other places where they feel either ostracized or they feel like they're on display because everybody's and oohing. But you come into a big set event, you can be yourself because you're around your peoples. And I think that's the reason why people always felt comfortable coming to M15, Negro Village, the celebrity games, because they know that if you come into a big set event, you know you're gonna be familiar. We have Bobby Brown. We have people, like I said, when they came into New York, they would hear about it through their other celebrity friends. They will come through and say, yo, I've been hearing about this party, blah, 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 which I definitely appreciated. But I'm like, well, you're amongst your peoples. So you don't have to feel guarded. You don't have to feel like you've got to walk around like this. And I've never done VIP areas. The only time I've done VIP areas was when there was free drinks involved and we had a certain amount. So it's like, okay, we got to cut this off. But I never liked VIP areas at any of my parties because if people are coming and they know there's gonna be celebrities there, why are you separating? Why is it? I feel like it's like going to the zoo. Look, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. And if you don't feel comfortable being around people, just don't come to my party. It's that simple. I would tell celebrities that. I'm like, yo, we're cool. But, you know, my peoples, even the people that come to my parties, I consider them my peoples. As many years as I've done parties, there's never been a fight at any party.
No reason.
In New York City.
Because it's all love.
And we have promoters that seems as if they have fights at every other party they do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's no disrespect to them, but like I said, it's just a matter of people feel comfortable, whether you're a celebrity, whether you're a football player, whether you're just coming down the street. You know, I've always wanted that because I want people to feel comfortable. People still been asking, do a party.
Elise said that that's the best part of your parties is that there's no VIP. And she said she was writing that before you even said that. So she,
Hi, Elise.
so she was attesting to you. I know you got on the payroll. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could tell me how much how much she costs after we get off, so she can hook me up.
Yeah, I'll take.
All right, I know she must have paid you big money because this dude right here, boy. So, all right, so I prepped the audience and told them that you are currently a contributor to Black Enterprise, which is a dope shift for me. I don't know how long you've been with them, but it was a dope shift to see you do a more political edge to you all the way around. I see your post on Facebook, and you go in politically.
Well, the funny, this is my third time working for Black Enterprise. I worked with Black Enterprise initially about 8 years ago. First freelance for a couple of months, left.
They had you mopping floors. They had you mopping floors first time around.
Yeah, receptionist desk.
Okay.
The second time, I did the bathroom so well they had me come on staff, and that was like 7 years ago. And then I left, and then my man Justin, we worked together at Interactive One with Black Planet, and he went to work there, I think almost 2 years ago. So then he brought me on because he's head of digital. So he wanted to win, so he brought me back. Now let me stop. But the funny thing is that I've always told people that the industry, everything I've ever done for the industry cosign, outside of videos, it was my precursor to Black Enterprise because I'm doing the exact same thing for Black Enterprise that I did for the industry cosign. Now, of course, with the Black Enterprise, it's going to be more news related, so to speak, and there's nothing wrong with that because I've been like when I was there the first 2 times, I was strictly sports and entertainment, but I still do sports and entertainment. But then I can also write about politics and regular news and just social injustice, whatever it is, I can do it. And it's definitely Black Enterprise is I think is the best thing on my resume. Like when I first got the opportunity to work with Black Enterprise, I'm like, yo, people don't understand the importance of Black enterprise. Or people our age understood and understand, but like people like nowadays, some do, but some don't really understand. So when I got the opportunity to work at Black Enterprise, I jumped at it because I'm like, yo, this is Black Enterprise. And it was just an amazing thing. And it was a good fit. The funny thing is that I think even today, and I can't get in trouble for saying this, but I don't think that some of the executives at Black Enterprise even view me as being part of Black Enterprise, even though I'm probably more Black Enterprise than somebody, even though they've been working there. Because I don't wear the suit, because I'm not stuffy, because I'm more relaxed, I'm more laid back. Because when I worked in the office, it was so strict with the dress code. I didn't mind, but I'm like, for me to do my work, I don't have to dress or feel this way because I felt like I had on like tight underwear and I couldn't walk. So, but my work always spoke for me. I've always, every time I've been there, as far as the website, I've always been number one when it comes to driving traffic, and I'm still. And the thing is, I pride myself on it because I want, not only do I want to be the best, but to be the best for Black Enterprise is better for me than being the best for the source, being the best for any other publication, because Black Enterprise, one, this is the 50th year for Black Enterprise. So I'm glad to be part of that legacy. And Black Enterprise was always made sure that we knew that we can do things in business or do things on our own for the Black entrepreneur. And so to be involved with Black enterprise, and like I said, this is my third go around, and still like I'm forever etched into the Black enterprise, writings or whatever, and I'm proud of that. And I just think that a lot of people have to understand the importance of a Black enterprise, even though there are so many different publications, and the fact that I'm writing for them, to me, I'm like, yo, I'm happy, and this is the most prestigious job I have on my resume.
Yeah.
And I
That was a good look when I saw that, and I believe you featured my brother Attica Torrance.
Yeah, I make mistakes every now and then,
Big shout out to him, Brooklyn bred, no doubt. Had to plug the brother, but y'all can check that in Black Enterprise. My man Big said with the.
But let me also bring up another point.
Mm.
I just featured the Locks a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
The Locks.
Wow.
I featured Tracy Lee. I feature, J. Alexander Martin. I like the fact that I can bring people who started in hip hop, started their own thing, and I can tell their story on Black Enterprise.
Yeah.
And I plan on bringing more, because I think that's an achievement in itself.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we salute you for that, because hip hop. I got this hashtag called Hip Hop Nobody Rapping, right? And one of the main reasons why I wanted you on this platform is because you're pop rap, and people need to understand and see hip hop in various ways, whether it's journalism, whether it's lyricism, whether it's beats and rock. Hip hop is not just rap music.
Exactly.
People need to see that in action. You do a good job of expressing that. Clubhouse, you mentioned Clubhouse, right?
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
I like it. It's definitely a good tool. It's definitely a good look. It can be addictive, but I haven't even been on there today, and I'm happy about that. But what I enjoy about Clubhouse is, one, I've reconnected with so many people that I haven't seen or spoken to in years. Fat Joe being one of them, and the forums, because the way I describe Clubhouse to people that don't know, I say it's like the old school conferences back in the days. How Can I Be Down? New Music Seminar, where you have classes, you have people that you need to network with. You have different aspects where when you're on Clubhouse, you have rooms that celebrate certain things, or you can get tips on marketing. There's so many different things and so many things. I've learned certain things. My network has expanded because I've gone on there. What I can appreciate specifically, of course, I had DJ Scratch on Black Enterprise as well, but DJ Scratch has his own room. He has the Scratch Vision Radio on Clubhouse, and every Sunday he has Legend Lounge, which he started basically to give props to all the legends in hip hop. And I moderate the room. So for me moderating the room, the fact that so many people already know me, and I guess people who have been there already will always see that every week somebody's clowning me or someone's trying to clown me, but what people don't understand is that that's because we're all comfortable with each other, and it's like how we are when we're in person. And I like the fact that people can see the respect that people give me, because people sometimes respect the people that respect you. They might not respect me because they don't know who I am or what I've done. But when they see that Hakeem Green, DJ Scratch, Eric B, Dougie Fresh, and all these people are giving me props, all of a sudden they're looking at me like, hey, yo, what? And it's like, okay, I get it. And, I don't blame people for not knowing who I am, because if you're not part of this, I don't expect you to. But I do appreciate the fact that
Man, I don't know what that was about. That was weird. We back in effect. We back in effect.
It is Jersey air. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
It
We
might be
try
the
to
Jersey.
try to blame it on Jersey.
You know, if I was in
Uh-huh.
the happened.
Yeah, right.
But
You
briefly,
crazy.
Clubhouse is a good tool because you
Mhm.
meet people, you get to go in rooms, and people are actually giving real game and real information that you can utilize, and you can definitely meet people that you wouldn't ordinarily meet.
Sometimes. You got you got to be careful, right? I turn my notifications off. This is me personally, right? Because it can be addictive. You find yourself just surfing through there. But the one thing I do look forward to is Scratch Vision Legends Lounge. Like that's for me the best thing, and I have my personal reasons. It just is a great representation of the hip hop culture that I grew up with. You know, the personalities that are in the building, the conversations that are going on, the stories that people are discussing. You know, it's
like one of my
but that
it's like one of my parties. You
nah,
people.
yeah, not real.
You know?
Nah, yep. Try to take Scratch's credit though.
No. I'm just saying it's like one of my parties. I'm not saying it's because of me or anything like that. No.
I see how you do, nigga. But it's when you hear Dougie Fresh and a Grand Mixer DXT talking about the Busy Me Kumo D battle,
and
how that went down in like a real time description, people that were there and that were somewhat involved indirectly, like that brings a whole nother element to, because I heard the tapes back in the day when I was 13, 14. And you can only imagine what the setting was like. You hearing it on cassette, hoping the cassette don't pop. Now to hear Dougie explain it after they played the battle, now you can see it more clear.
Exactly.
In your mind, what
you
the
can
fuck
visualize
happened.
it.
You can visualize it. And those types of settings for me on Clubhouse are dope. But there are some very informative panels that they have. But I don't want to do a whole Clubhouse promotion. But it seems that coupled with all the other forms of social media is just so important to society nowadays. How do you manage to use these tools to your best benefit?
I mean, like I stated earlier, I mean, my follower game on Instagram as well, because since your social media things are hooked up to Clubhouse, they've risen so much. And for me, it's not about Clubhouse; it's about what I do. As a matter of fact, before Shani yells at me, I'm about to do what you're doing right now. I've been doing it for the past couple of months, but I haven't actually done it. But doing my interviews, StreamYard as well. And the funny thing for me is that I've been doing this basically all my life. So for me, it's just another arm, another part of the body. But I do appreciate that other people have used Clubhouse as a forum for that.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not going to do it. People have been trying to get me to, but I'm like, I'd rather do it on my forum because it's my forum. And Industry Coastline's turning 17. Clubhouse is like 17 weeks. So why am I going to put my Clubhouse when I have my own site?
Yeah.
And I understand why, but at the same time, I also feel like it's just easier. And the only difference, what I'm going to do is, I probably won't do live, but I just have some ideas I want to do. But I just want to throw that out there because I definitely love the StreamYard and what you can do with it. And people have been like coming at me because I do have to agree, I'm not doing as much as I could. But I also tell people that there's reasons for that. And when it happens, it's going to be like a runaway train, because I have a habit of when I start doing things, I can't stop. So I got to gear myself up so that way when I'm prepared, you're going to get sick of me, but in a good way.
Yeah. Like I think I go through the same thing. People are expecting to see something. What's up with this? What's up with that? And my rule of thumb is just whatever I do, don't be whack.
Exactly.
Don't be whack. Exactly. Don't have no whack juice on you, because when you get the whack juice on you, you can't get the whack juice off you. So as long as I don't have no whack juice, I'll always have the opportunity
Exactly.
Do whatever it is there is to do. So that's kind of my rule of thumb. And that's where we at with it. But yo, bro, I really appreciate you taking time and coming on the Madism, TV show, the podcast for the audio version. I just want to use this platform to, like you said, showcase, people who are important to the culture first and foremost, but of course the business as well.
And I appreciate.
You carry yourself very, on a high level. But before we go, just let me get some things out the way.
Oh gosh.
Other than your own, what's your favorite New York City party?
Like ever from like I started attending parties?
Ever. As long as it's not one of yours.
Damn, I've been to so damn many. I'm never gonna say the tunnel. I wouldn't say a favorite party, but maybe a favorite era. Like when Tammy Ford and Patty LaRon and Jessica, like I forgot what year, like during like a 3-4 year period, like it was just going to
94, like
yeah. Mid-90s.
Mid-90s.
Let's play safe. Mid-90s. I just like the vibe of the parties in general. Like I look forward to certain parties, but not so much where I can name a favorite party right now. I'll probably remember and tell you in Clubhouse tomorrow because it'll hit me. But
I want to tell you a story. My favorite party ever. 1984 Christmas Eve at the Funhouse. I was 15 years old. Right now, I wasn't really allowed to hang out at night, but I spent the weekend at my cousin's house for Christmas. My cousin Toya Tracy snuck me over. We took the bus over to GWB. We go to Washington Heights first. Now, mind you, I'm 15. I'm in Jersey. I've never been in New York City without my mother or a school trip ever in my life. Right. So Washington Heights, 1984, Christmas Eve. You get off at Washington Heights, shit is popping. I'm standing on the corner like this. My cousin said, "Boy, you don't get your ass off the corner. Come in." So we hang out in the hallway a little bit. Then we hop on the double A train.
Wow, you said double A.
The double A train.
Wow.
And took it down to 42nd. Now ride with me, right? Get to 42nd. We're gonna hook up with another one of my cousin's friends. Get to 42nd Street. There's this dude that got 42nd Street on smash, right? His name is Bright Eyes, right? Light-skinned kid, young, 16, 17. Money green, sheepskin coat, Pumas to match, fat laces. He had the whole 40 deuce on smash. It was like, it was something out of a movie. How this young motherfucker had the whole shit on smash. Now remember that. We hang out on 42nd for a little while, take some pictures, whatever. Go down to the Fun House. Take the train down to the Fun House. Go in. I don't think I'm gonna get in because I'm too young. I think it's 18 over to get in, right? I get in, I lie about my age, end up getting in. You walk in, it's all mirrors. Go straight through. You hit the left. You go inside the club. You look across the club. There's a big ass clown face, and the smile is the DJ booth. So the DJs are in the clown. Is Red Alert and Little Louis Vega, the DJs. So I'm walking around. My mouth is wide open. I'm in a daze. Like, what the fuck is going on? You can smell the weed in the air. You can smell all the types of shit going on. I don't even want it. I'm walking later on in the night. There's this tall kid with a Jerry curl afro with glasses, Cazales, looking like a tall ass Rodney Allen Rippy, doing what would be the Steve Martin. It's a circle around him. Niggas doing the Steve Martin. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? It's crazy, right? Night goes on. The show starts. That same kid grabs the mic. It's Dougie Fresh.
Wow.
He brings Slick Rick on, and they do Lottie Dottie for the first time live at the Funhouse. I ended up hearing that song a year later on the radio, and it blew my mind. Now, I went to Wagner College on Staten Island in 1987, and I used to go to the Funhouse, right? Every weekend, not the Funhouse, excuse me, to Studio 54.
Okay.
So I would take the train up, hop off on 42nd, go by Playland. I'm in Playland, get my video game on. I look to the right? There's this dude that's just fiend out, like looking crazy with a raggedy old money green sheepskin coat on. It was that kid, Bright Eyes. Years later, like fiend out, looking crazy with that same money green sheepskin coat on, looking crazy. Yeah, so that was New York City in the late 80s, ladies and gentlemen, for those who care.
Definitely gritty.
Yeah, definitely gritty. All right, so last question, bro. Top 5 dead or alive MCs.
I hate these questions. Ice Cube.
Okay.
Not order, you know.
No. Ice Cube. Okay, no particular order. Ice Cube. That's one.
Antonio Hardy.
Big Daddy Kane.
William Griffin.
Chuck D.
No.
No,
Rakim.
Rock. Oh, I'm bugging. Chuck D, right? Chuck William. Chuck.
Rakim.
Rakim.
I guess Chris Parker.
Okay.
One
more.
I'd have to go with. I'd go with Sean Carter.
That's a nice 5.
I would have said Biggie, but I don't think Biggie's career was long enough to justify.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree.
I want to touch on that because whenever I hear these arguments about Biggie being the best, I judge an MC in their career, well, when it comes commercial, I should say commercially, based on how they bounce back from a not so stellar album. And Biggie never got that chance. Jay-Z's done it. Ice Cube has done it. Chris has done it. Rakim, well, he never had to do it. Big Daddy Kane has done it. So I think that, like I said, based on my criteria.
Big Daddy Kane came back from an unsuccessful album?
Actually, no. Now that I think about it. Well, it's debatable. But he didn't. Okay, let me rephrase that. If they didn't have a not so stellar album, they came back from it being not so stellar. It may not have been their best, but they came back better because they bounced back. How's that?
I mean, if that's how you want to talk your way out of it, that's cool.
No, I'm saying, but that's the way I judge it, because like I said, when people, like I said, I just feel like Biggie was actually my favorite MC, favorite rapper, period, ever.
All right, well, there it is. Well, so I mean, how do you not have your favorite rapper ever in your top 5?
Because I just said, because I think that he didn't get a chance. First of all, he only did 2 albums.
All right, so you know what's crazy? And that just cancel your whole shit? that a nigga had a song called Biggie B, Give Me One More Chance. You talking about he never had a chance, and they got a song called Give Me One More Chance. That's crazy. Juicy, nigga. What the fuck?
Let me also tell you, Biggie was my very first interview ever.
Wow.
Ever.
That's crazy.
And let me tell you what he said in the interview. I asked him where did he see himself in 10 years? He said dead.
See?
9 years later, he was dead.
Yo, so listen, just on that note, watch what you say out your mouth. Because, you know, the tongue, the sword, life and death goes both ways. Watch what you speak into existence. And you see his projects were very prophetic in that he had a song, you know, album called Ready to Die. And then an album called Life After Death. So, you know, for whatever it's worth, you know, but, you know, to me as an artist, you know, similar to MF Doom passing and not telling anybody until that to me is like artistic as well as everything else. I don't want to diminish it or, you know, for the people that family, loved ones, what have you, no disrespect, but there's an art to it for a person to, you know, describe his own death. When you listen to Ready to Die, that's his life. Like kind of it walks. I mean, it's exaggerated in points, but no, not really. It's a walk through his life. That shit's crazy.
But the funny thing is, in the interview, he said, I asked him why did he feel that way. He said because none of his boys had lived past 25 and 26.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. Like it at the time when we did the interview, because like I said, he's my first interview, I'm like, well, that's kind of morbid. So when I found out when he died, I ran to get the magazine that I wrote for. Actually, you were one of my first interviews too. It was One Nut Magazine. When I interviewed you and Tuffy from One Nut Magazine.
Crazy.
But yeah, so it was funny that I ran to get the magazine because I'm like, I know I'm not bugging. Because that's the one thing that stood out to me when I did the interview. The one thing. 9 years later.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
That's just powerful. That's powerful. Yep. But I always thought his first album was a conscious album. In that, like, it's, you know, it's gangster, street, all that, but there's a consciousness to it. Like he's, especially with the suicide, something the song was commit suicide. That's powerful, man. You know, that's a lot of self-analysis went into that project, and to put all of that out on wax. You know, a lot of vulnerabilities when you look at Ready to Die from a certain perspective. I always thought it was an awesome project, and if Big was in someone's top 5, I couldn't argue. Your top 5, I can't argue with your top 5. Like that's a solid top 5. It's not my top 5, but it's similar.
What's your top
5? Definitely KRS. You know, without a doubt. You know, I gotta put Jay-Z in there, man. I gotta put Jay-Z in there. You just can't front on the career this guy has. I was extremely critical of Jay-Z for most of his career in terms of content and glorification of certain things. But to see how he's flipped his whole empire, a true empire, you know, and changed his messaging in a lot of ways, I think it's dope, you know, so you can't front on it. So I say him. I would say I wouldn't say Rakim. I'm gonna go. Shit, man. I'm gonna go Biggie. I'm gonna go Redman.
Wow. You gotta put somebody from Jersey in there. I get it. No.
Yeah, but you know, Redman is a monster.
No, I love Redman.
And he's still going strong. You know, he's still putting out music. He's still representing. So he's still coming with tight shit. You know, is another person who I don't think I've heard a whack rhyme from. Redman.
Is that only 4?
That's 5.
That's 5.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
Jadakiss? No.
You know what though? I'm a big fan of Jadakiss, bro. I'm a big fan of Jadakiss. Don't front.
No, I just laughed because top 5 Dead or Alive.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. You know, I don't think he has enough styles to be in the top 5. He's got one style, and it's vicious. and I would never front. Like, I listen to Jadakiss every day. I listen to the Locks every day. When I work out, that's workout music every day. But the top 5, man, you gotta have styles. You gotta flip it and bounce it. You know what I mean? You gotta, yeah, man.
And
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
And depending on the mood, I like I said, because sometimes these top 5s are interchangeable with others. I would throw LL as like an alternate.
See, LL is like a page turner, man. Like, so that's the hard thing about the top 5 question.
Yeah.
Because really, like, in terms of impact for me, top 5 is Chris, Kane, Rakim, Slick Rick, Chuck D, LL, you know what I mean? Cool G Rap. But it's that era, that 80, that 86 to 89, 90 era. The EPMDs, the Tribe Called Quest, just that era meant so much to us.
There's an argument for basically everybody that came out at that time because they brought a different, like you said, a different impact.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
When I say everybody, I don't mean everybody. I just meant like it's such
you talk the greatest groups of all time. Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, EPMD, NWA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that era, group-wise, was just phenomenal. Then you have the DOS Effects, you have the Lords of the Undergrounds, you have the, just the Dog Pound, just the variety of music was much more than what's going on today. And it's a testament to what came before. You say we talk about Busy B and Kumo D and Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5 and all that. Like, again, variety, different style, different, like, biting as a concept. No biting allowed was like a fucking real thing. And that's not out there. So
that was banishment.
In terms of having codes to hip hop, how important are codes to preserving the culture?
I don't think there are any codes anymore. And I don't know if that's because of growth or because of ignorance or just because people don't care anymore. Because remember, when Snoop did Lottie Dottie, it was like a culture change because no rapper is going to remake another rap song. They might do a parody of it, but nobody. And Rick did it. Snoop did it. As a matter of fact, he did the and it's so funny because I brought it to somebody's attention. He only did 2 songs. He only remade 2 songs, Slick Rick and Dana Dane. Coincidentally, he did Cinderfella.
Did Cinderfella?
He named it whatever he named it, but it was off of Dana Dane, Cinderfella, and of course Lottie Dottie. But back then, it's like that was like a.
But that's the like the way he did it to me, in my opinion, that was an honor. That was I'm going to do it, so I'm doing it. I'm not doing it.
No, I know. I'm not saying they were doing it. But I'm saying even back then, you would never think because, like you said, the no biting rules.
Yeah, the nobody rules. Yeah,
But that's what I mean when I
yeah,
say based on that.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Right.
and
But
like you
like,
hip hop has changed so much where, like you said, the codes that we came up on are basically non-existent. And just like when I heard a couple years ago when people were arguing about Drake, Ja Rule bringing singing in hip hop before Drake, and I'm like, y'all don't know your history. I'm like, you got to go back 30 years.
Force MDs. What
Yeah,
you talking about?
not even,
Yeah, come on, bro.
not even Force MDs, Force MCs.
Force
Before the Force
MCs.
MDs. And
Thank
people,
you.
and just like with
Yeah, that's right.
and that's another reason why people need to come into the Legend Lounge, because when Scratch was playing some of those routines, I'm saying to people, I'm like, all these young people talking about, oh, Ja Rule was the first one that started this. I'm like, hip hop started like this. The hip hop we know,
First of all,
it was routines.
doo-wop is a big part of hip hop. Like the routines. Thank you. That's Kohlberg brothers is singing in their sets.
Everyone.
Everyone. Like that's just a part of a part of the culture. Nobody
And they could
created
sing. And they
30,
could
30
sing.
years later. Yeah.
They were able to.
Yeah.
This is the way we harmonize. This is the way we It's like it was like.
I'm not even gonna play myself, and you shouldn't either.
But like I said back then, but that's just one thing where, R&B, people know the history of R&B when they do R&B, rock, anything else. But with hip hop, it's like whatever they knew 5 years ago, that's as far back as they're going.
That's a shame too, because the culture becomes so disposable, and like we're the only people that happens to. That's just a shame. It's a shame, man. But listen, we've been rocking out for a minute. It's 10:37.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of looking at your ugly ass. I know you gotta go to Clubhouse and get it in.
I'm not good.
No, man. But I do appreciate you, bro, for taking some time and kicking it with me, man. And any shout outs, man? Anybody want to, What's up?
No, it's just technical difficulties earlier.
Hey, shit happens. It's all right. It's be back in effect though. It's good. Give me shout
outs. I'll just say, basically check out the industry cosign. If you want to see some, real journalism, go to Black Enterprise. Check me out on Black Enterprise. And every social media, look Big Said, and you'll see me, and you'll always know what I'm doing, because everything I do is always on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
There it is. Yes, sir. At Big Said, industry cosign, my dude.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
You, bro.
Enjoy the rest of your year and the rest of your
bro. Peace. Yo, this is Hakeem Green, Channel Live, Direct, BDP all day, every day. All we do is spark Mad IZM, Mad IZM TV. We out. Peace.
That is